And back with us again for our weekly interview is Bill O'Reilly, host of the No Spin podcast at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill, great to see you as always.
Thank you, John.
All right, so President Trump has expelled 60 Russian officials in the wake of this poisoning attack in the UK, but still there are critics of President Trump that say he needs to do more to specifically call out Vladimir Putin by name and to his face. Do his critics have a point?
You know, it's hard to say at this point. The president has explained his strategy by saying he does not want to alienate Putin because he has to do business with him on the Iran fronts, the North Korea fronts, the Syria fronts, and he doesn't want to make him an enemy. We slap sanctions on them. We're expelling, as you just mentioned, some of their diplomats that aren't really diplomats, they're spies. Everybody does that.
Right.
But at this point, we'll just have to see in the next year or so whether Putin starts to cooperate with the USA on certain things. If he doesn't, then I would say the strategy is failing. But I think we got to give it a little more time.
A little more time, fair enough. Now let's talk about Stormy Daniels. 60 Minutes is boasting of very high ratings, but everybody I talked to today said they felt like the interview was kind of a non-issue. Do you think this story is over?
No, I said on BillO'Reilly.com in January that with the Russian collusion investigation pretty much not going to lead to Donald Trump's dismissal, that the women are going to be the weapons that the hate Trumpers use. So you're going to see one after the other, after the other, after the other. I think people understand that. Go ahead.
The Stormy Daniels story might be over, but you think there's just going to be this waterfall of more women?
Absolutely. And there's going to be more allegations and more this and more that and more lawsuits and more defamation. It's never going to end for Donald Trump. So what he has to do is get a really good legal team and a PR team. He's got to reorganize his communications department at the White House and basically have a strategy to blunt this kind of stuff without blowing it up into another 60 Minutes deal. So the women are being used as a political weapon. I don't know why I should feel sorry for Stormy Daniels. For what reason?
I don't think a lot of people found her story credible at all. I don't think anybody really believes her, that there's not a monetary motive here. And that's why I think this interview fell flat. Yes, of course. There's always
there isn't a parent in the country, if their child was threatened by a person that you see, you don't report that to the police? You don't do that?
Very troubling.
Yeah.
Very troubling. And Anderson Cooper should have followed up. That's a natural follow-up question. I think a lot of people were asking why that question wasn't asked in a more pointed fashion. All right. Next topic, Bill, is this March for Our Lives that took place over the weekend. You hear the organizers boasting of very high, their words, voter registration numbers as a result of this issue. My question for you, though, does this really become an issue in 2018, or does it fade into the background?
It depends. It depends if the violence continues. Two things on that. The media coverage was dishonest, and we'll prove that on BillO'Reilly.com. The numbers were way, way, way up. But, I say it's good that younger Americans are getting involved with issues, even if you don't agree with their take. But you don't want them to be manipulated. You don't want the press to be lying about things. The second thing is what we're doing on BillO'Reilly.com is we're centering the issue around the violence in Chicago. John, did you know that since Rahm Emanuel has been elected mayor of Chicago, more Chicagoans have been murdered than American personnel in Afghanistan? Did you know that?
It's astounding, Bill. I didn't know that. The numbers are high. You hear it compared to Iraq. They call it Chirac. But, the numbers when
it's
you
almost
actually look at them,
twice as many citizens in Chicago murdered than U.S. personnel killed since we started in Afghanistan in 2001. Now, the issue is, why can't the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois control the gun violence? You can't just say, we want gun control, we want regulations. They have them already. Why don't they work? This is the debate the country should be having, not manipulating children. So that's our big deal on BillO'Reilly.com. We hope everybody tunes in to see it.
And if you see the headlines from across the country today, the way these kids are characterized, you can clearly see what you're talking about. And I'll look forward to hearing your commentary on that. Last topic for you is Facebook and its founder, Mark Zuckerberg, facing some serious hit in the wake of this scandal involving Cambridge Analytica, the political research firm. The FTC is now involved, and a new Reuters poll says that just 41% of those surveyed trust Facebook to follow through with these privacy laws. What's the bigger problem here for Zuckerberg, in your opinion? Now that the FTC is involved, the legal issues associated with that, or the fact that the Facebook users don't seem to trust the platform or the product?
Well, as you know, I'm a Luddite. I don't know anything about this stuff. But I asked one of my resident experts, how are they harvesting information? From what I understand, when you go on Facebook and you tell someone you like spaghetti, well, then Facebook knows that and stores it. Or you like Bill O'Reilly. I don't know if that's done a lot, but they store it. And then people can get that information. Zuckerberg hasn't built a wall around the information that he's harvesting from people's conversations on Facebook. That's the crux of the matter. Where's the wall? You know, it's a privacy issue. I don't expect any federal charges against Facebook. I do expect Zuckerberg to invest many millions of dollars building a wall. And I think that the problem will subside, but it's pretty bad. I mean, if you say anything on the internet, somebody's going to know it and store it.
This is true. They're following you. They're watching. But, Bill, I don't know about the Luddite. I think you're being a little too hard on yourself.
No,
you have a great Twitter feed.
I like to walk on the beach. I'm not. The machines frighten me. But I appreciate the Twitter stuff. We try very hard to make it very pointed.
It's a great source of information.
Yeah.
It's a powerful tool. It can be used for good or bad, like Edward R. Murrow said about television. We hope it's used for good anyway. Bill, great to talk to you. As always,
John.
have a great week, sir.